the AI boom might be headed to a major crisis. Because AI doesn't only work with algorithms, it needs massive physical infrastructure. Companies have already spent over $650 billion on AI data centers. Some single projects cost over $7 billion. So with what's happening now in the world with Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, which could threaten the global energy supply, AI progress could slow down significantly. So this is what we're going to talk about today, guys. As I said, the AI scene is crazy right now. A lot of happening every single day. So make sure you're subscribed to keep up with the latest. Yeah, so a big video for you guys today. And just before we go to the video, I'm going to shout out our sponsor, Elodan.com, our sponsor of this video. This is Elodan.com, guys. This is a really interesting website. You can do text to image, image to image, text to video, image to video, and text to voice. So actually you can also chat. You can chat with AI using all the models that you need. Elodan is very smooth, guys. You have to try it out. It has everything you need. You can chat, you can create images, you can create videos. This tool can help you with anything you do in your life. So make sure to head to Elodan.com right now and get the offer. You can get 500 credits for just $9.99. Now back to the video. Alright guys, so we have a video today from Sky News. The title is Why the Iran War Could Expose AI's Biggest Weakness. I'm really excited to know more about that, especially the political side and the war side of the whole AI, and how will the war affect AI. If the war extends for, God forbid, months or years, how will this affect the AI progress, and how will this affect what we're doing right now with AI, and even our use for AI is going to change, because AI is relying on electricity. There is a major electricity crisis that might happen because of this war. So let's check out the video.
If you've been worried about AI taking your job, or I don't know, taking over the world, then this really awful situation in Iran is probably actually good news for you, because it hits the thing that makes AI possible, which is the most enormous, energy-intensive build-out of infrastructure, possibly one of the most enormous and energy-intensive build-outs.
Do you guys think that we were gonna reach a phase that AI is so efficient that it doesn't need this much energy? I think we're gonna reach a phase that we don't need this much energy to just generate prompts and generate images. What are we doing with AI, guys? We are using it, yes, in all our manufacturing, but at the same time, I think advancements in the upcoming years are going to be more focused on efficiency. This is how life works. First, we think about the tech. Imagine the big computer, the big PCs that we had back in the day, okay? Now they're just Mac Minis, like this. But so they start with the technology, and then the efficiency comes later. So this problem that he's going to talk about, I believe, is going to be fixed in the upcoming years with the focus on the efficiency.
Modern history. I know that might sound like a bit of an over-the-top claim, but honestly, I think I've got some charts here, and I think once I show them to you, I think you'll see what I mean. So this is the money that has been spent on data centers in the last 3 or 4 years. These are the companies doing the spending, and the companies that you know that make AI, like OpenAI, they rent the data centers of these guys. And so look, over here, this bar, I think it's about 400 billion. This number is projected, so, you know, take it with a pinch of salt, but I think it's about right. 650 billion. This is the money being spent on data centers right now. And I know it can be impossible to compute what 650 billion really means. So I've tried to put it in comparison with some things that we can relate to a bit more. So this tiny little bar down there, that is UK defence spending last year. This is the spending that the UK did on the whole of COVID. Not 1 year, the whole of COVID. This is how much NASA's Apollo program, which sent space astronauts to the moon in the 1960s and 1970s, cost.
I'm really wondering what are the numbers of China. I believe China is more efficient because USA is always the first player, the innovator. So it has to spend more on the R&D. China just say, if we can get information from the researches that you're doing, we're just gonna sometimes copy. China sometimes copy. Everyone knows that. But I believe that China's spending is so much less, and we see that with DeepSeek. when DeepSeek was released. The amount of money that they spent on this whole LLM and whole technology is nothing compared to what USA spends. So USA should focus more on efficiency.
Again, not 1 year, the whole thing. And over here, that's data centers. But yeah, I mean, these comparisons are little random, aren't they? So let's put it into a more concrete historical comparison. These are big infrastructure build-outs as an average percentage of US GDP. US railroads, electrification, US highways. This bar here is the dot-com boom. And over here, again, a projected number, so take it with a pinch of salt. That's AI. This build-out is huge, and it all depends on energy because this is what they're building. Here it is. This is a data center, one of the biggest data centers in the world, Microsoft Fairwater. I mean, these are cars here to give you some sense of the scale. And actually, this thing is still under construction. They're still building it. And when they've finished, it will be maybe the most powerful AI data center in the world, and it will have cost $7 billion.
Oh my God.
And of course, like I was saying at the beginning, this thing needs an unbelievable amount of energy. How much, you ask? Well, this is the average annual power use for the city of Los Angeles. And over here is where Fairwater is projected to get when they finish.
My God.
This line will go up and down a bit, you know, when everyone in LA switches on their air conditioning units.
Just one facility from Microsoft Fairwater, uses more power than the whole of Los Angeles. That's crazy, guys, when you think about it. One facility from Microsoft, which is so much behind in AI. So this might change the game for Microsoft, actually. If you're investing in the stock market, Microsoft is investing heavily in AI right now.
But on a typical day, Fairwater will draw more power than the entire city of LA. And when you look at the build-out of data centers in a national perspective, you see that basically they've been building multiple LA's worth of power. This is the blue bars here are operational data centers, and the red ones here are in construction. If you combine blue and red, then you get about 6 LA's worth of power.
Oh my God.
3 Londons. Or to put it into more granular terms, I worked it out, 14 million microwaves. This is the power you'd need to plug in 14 million microwaves all at the same time. And you know what, I know that sounds a bit silly, but that's actually not that far off what they're doing. Because you know how when you run your microwave in your kitchen, it gets super hot? Well, that's the problem that they have to deal with as well. That's partly why it takes so much energy, just cooling down
water.
All those computers.
It's going to talk about water.
That's what a data center is, really. Just a massive load of computers that you kind of do your work on remotely. But here's the funny thing. In a way, here's the craziest part of this all. Despite all this build-out, there still isn't enough space. This is the vacancy rate in primary data centers in the US, which are the best ones, down at 1%.
So this is why Elon Musk always say that he wants to build data centers on Mars. That's crazy.
They are completely full. Of course, laws of supply and demand. What happens when you have lots of demand, not enough supply? Prices go up. Prices have been going up now pretty much ever since the AI boom started. But despite these prices, the data centers are still completely full. There's this incredible squeeze.
Wow.
And now we've got this situation in the Straits of Hormuz, which is going to make that squeeze even tighter. Now, there's something funny about data centers. You hear a lot about how much electricity they use. And in fact, I've just said it. But it's not actually true overall. This is quite an important point. Data centers as a percentage of US electricity consumption, I think they're about 4%. And this is kind of putting that same thing in terawatt hours. Look, residential air conditioning uses much more electricity than data centers. Microwaves, much smaller, but still on the same chart. Yeah. You wouldn't expect that. And I think what I'm getting at is the nature of the squeeze here. Because it's not just about total energy, it's about getting energy to the right place. Putting a data center is a bit like if someone came into your house and plugged in a microwave into every socket and started running it. I mean, your street wouldn't notice that draw that much, and your city definitely wouldn't, but your fuse box would, and your energy bills definitely would. And that's more what it's like. And you might say, yeah, of course, but no one would ever do that. But actually, something like that did happen in Ireland because they put in all these tax breaks for tech companies who started coming there, and then they started building data centers. The blue line here is the electricity use as a percentage of urban households in Ireland. And the red line is the electricity use of data centers. You see, it was just kept on going up and up and up and up, mainly because Ireland has quite a small grid. And it carried going up even after they actually put a moratorium in on data center building. That was in 2022. I think they've finished it now, although there are now lots of constraints on building data centers. They basically had to stop them taking over the whole grid. Strange, isn't it? But this is the point I'm getting at. This whole system, this enormous system that has been built to make AI function, and in fact make the whole digital world function, is under tremendous strain. And now, President Trump, thanks to his actions in Iran, has added that extra constraint.
Yep.
This is going to squeeze an already tight system even tighter. And the eventual effect? Well, I think it has to be to slow down AI. Because although the tech companies are actually getting into energy themselves, this is 3 Mile Island in the US, the site of one of the US's biggest nuclear accidents, and Microsoft's taking it over to make power for data centers. But that's going to take a while. It's not going to come on board that soon. So instead, I think what we're going to see is more outages. I think it's going to be really hard for the AI companies like Anthropic to get data to us when and where we need it. You can see these red bars. This is poor performance, simply because there's so much demand. I think also, inevitably, we'll see prices going up. Either that or kind of deals to incentivize you, like this one. Deals to incentivize you using AI at certain times when it's not so energy intensive. But lastly, and this really is kind of the...
Did you hear what he just said? So maybe he's saying that maybe companies, to fix this problem, they can just give you better prices to use AI, maybe after midnight, at the time when people are sleeping, when time the energy costs are lower. So this might actually be a thing. When life becomes different, when the situations around us are different, we will also have different subscription models and different payment methods. They have to adapt with this. So I think what he's saying right now actually might happen. You can spend less on AI if you use it in the time that is not peak hours, because peak hours costs maybe also are becoming higher right now.
The most important thing from a civilizational perspective, if you think about it like that, I think we must see some slowing of progress in AI. Because the need for these data centers is to do the incredibly energy-intensive work of training AI models. And this has been unbelievably effective. This chart of AI progress, I mean, look at this. This chart is an exponential chart. I mean, it's practically vertical at this point. But if they can't get the energy, they can't get the space in the data centers, then this chart must, I don't know if it's going to look much like slowing down, but it must go a little bit less vertical. I think that would make so much sense. And I suppose thinking about the big worry about AI, well, maybe this very awkward situation in Iran, which is going to cause a lot of economic harm, actually might be buying time for us to get ready for whatever AI is going to be.
Yeah, this is actually crazy, guys, and it is going on every single day. We hear new news, new things that can slow down AI. But will actually AI slow down? We hear about this like all the time. All these news, we hear about them, but AI is still booming. AI is still crushing it till now. I believe this is the number one risk for AI, which is power, which is infrastructure, which is, of course, you can't have AI without having infrastructure. So I believe, as I said in the beginning of the video, that the main fix for this is more efficient AI, not more infrastructure, not more facilities. Like, so you saw the Microsoft facility, how expensive it is, and how not power efficient it is. It's gonna take so much energy, so much electricity, and will cost so much money. And I believe that in the upcoming 2 years, we're gonna see more focus on efficiency. So guys, thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe, because as you see, every day new news, posting every day. And make sure you guys check elodan.com to create anything using AI for your business. You can create videos, you can create images, and you can chat with it. So thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.